Welcome to Brotropics. Today we're going to talk about Adrafinil. And we have two different brands today. I have in my hands Nootropics Depot.
And mine's is Absorb Health.
And we're going to do a review on these, like from personal experience. Me and him have two different chemistries, and usually it's like reverse effects. So you'll get best of both worlds.
Yep, and we've also taken all these brands and we've tried. We're choosing these ones out. So if you go on the website, you're going to see affiliates that we work with, and we update them constantly to get you the best deal and also the best, strongest effects. So if you go onto our website and you see an affiliate and you don't see these brands, it's just because we found something better. So don't freak out and be like, "Wait, what's going on here? Where's Absorb Health and Nootropic Depot?" Just go. We're going to get you the best deal. Try to anyway. And
let's start reviewing.
Yep.
Alright, so for me personally, from Nootropics Depot, this Adrafinil, it was good, for the price of it, but the thing was, it didn't hit me as hard as Absorb Health. Like, I don't know, it just didn't give me as much energy. It was kind of like a hit or miss, that's just what I felt from it. What do you think?
For me, Absorb Health was definitely stronger. I did start out on Absorb Health, but even after I did my cycle periods, which that will be in the how-to videos, how to cycle, but Absorb Health still took it. Now, the Nootropics Depot one, they add magnesium to it, and what is that?
Yeah, magnesium stearate. It's supposed to be a flow agent.
A flow agent, and me personally,
I think it's a filler.
Yep, 100%. I'm thinking it's a filler too, because they're both 300 milligrams, and I know extraction processes are different, but these pills are like this big. I just ran out of the Absorb Health, so I can't show you.
Yeah, and I don't have any more of this, but the pills on them are a lot
they're
smaller.
Like half the size, if not triple, less the size of Absorb Health. Now, how about we just actual experiences on it? Now this, well, we can go into brand too.
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. So with the Absorb Health, I felt the intensity off of 300 milligram. Now remember, it is an analog. It's going to break down, and it's going to turn into about half of that, depending on your metabolism, of actual modafinil. So for me, the focus was intense, but it wasn't overbearing. Now I did rotoscoping, because I'm a YouTuber. I did rotoscoping, and it's pretty much the tracing a body out on a moving image. Mine shoots 30 frames per second. It would have been about an 18-hour job. Took Adrafinil. Probably knocked down like 3.5 hours, perfect thing at 1200 zoom. I know that doesn't make sense, but I took a long job and I jam-packed it down. The retention's amazing. I taught myself piano in a month. Now, I'm not a professional at it, but I learned what I would consider a pretty advanced song, Sadness and Sorrow, if you're curious. And the cool thing about Adrafinil, and it is true to its word, when I stopped taking it, I was able to just retain all of it, and I'm still able to play it perfectly today.
Yeah, so when I took Adrafinil, well, it didn't make my heart race like Adderall did, and it made me feel happy. I was a little bit more happier than usual, I felt like it helped my mood really a lot, and I was taking Adrafinil to actually learn my flips a lot quicker, and I stopped doing my flips for a while because I was bodybuilding and everything, and I was like, oh, I want to relearn my flips quicker again and like see what it could do. So I took some Adrafinil and I actually relearned most of my flips within a day, and I haven't been doing flips for probably like 6 months now. And then now I've been doing it all the time, but before I took Nootropics, Rick, and I learned them so much quicker. I had so much energy, not already saying that I had a lot of energy, but it definitely helped me focus too when it came to like reading books and everything about like just anything. I retained information a lot better because I actually have ADHD, but when I took this, it actually kind of like mellowed me out, and it didn't make me feel like a zombie, but it made me feel lively, happy, and I just didn't get the side effects as I would have when I was taking Adderall.
Well, another thing, now that you bring up the mellow, unlike Adderall, you get like this overstimulated, almost like you want to just go, 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 and you actually end up screwing up work. You're doing it fast, but you're screwing up the work. But when it comes to Adrafinil, when I went to rotoscope, and it's pretty much, this is what the process looks like on the computer, and it just keeps going back and forth. I noticed I was so relaxed, I didn't care how long it took. I was focused, I wanted to do it right the first time. But then I noticed I cut it down 3 hours anyway. So it still was like intense. It was just mellow and it wasn't, annoying. Now the thing I will say is if I have insomnia, and for me, it got rid of my insomnia. I don't know if it was more the repairing process in the brain that could have fixed it. I don't have insomnia anymore. I've had it since I was 12. I liked it for the fact I could stay up late, but you started falling apart. Now you actually had the opposite of healing insomnia. In fact,
I had insomnia from taking it, so I would take it. I'd wake up around 5 o'clock to go to work and everything, just so that at the end of the day, 5 o'clock in the morning, so at the end of the day that the effects would have been mostly worn off and everything, just because it would make me stay up all night and I'd have to be doing something, obviously.
Now with food deterrent, when you fight, when you fight, when you first start taking it, for me, and I think it was the same for you, right? It was like a food deterrent.
Yeah, I could barely really eat anything. I wasn't really that hungry, but then I learned after a while, like, to eat and then take it. For me, that helped a lot, but.
Well, for me, it was crazy. There was more dopamine kicking, I know for sure, because food tasted better. I just didn't care to waste the time for it. You don't get the craving because you have dopamine, which causes cravings. For me, it's not that I wasn't hungry. I just didn't care enough to eat. I went 3 days without eating. And I could look in the mirror and I was starting to look like Skeletor. So I started eating good. I actually don't have the food deterrent anymore, but it could be that I take it so long. I've been taking it so long. But remember to eat. That's definitely a good thing.
Eat and drink lots of water.
And remember, I know this is going to be in the how-to video, but I'm going to tell you, this will not work unless you stay hydrated. It is an analog. If it goes through your liver and you're not drinking water, it will just sit in your liver. So, and I could, in the review side of it, I could tell that different. When I was working, I was kind of sitting there like, oh my god, this day's never going to end. I'm feeling like drained out, like a zombie. And I would just pound a couple bottles of water, and you could just feel it coming through your systems. I could actually feel it in my eyes. I could feel a little bit, and I was waking up. And the next thing you know, I finished all my work in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend Adrafinil?
Yes, I would definitely recommend Adrafinil, especially if you combined it with a choline, because sometimes I'd get a headache on it, but if you have a choline, like a good choline, like Alpha GPC, that'll be in a stack video, but it'll definitely, if you have headaches, it's either because you're not having enough choline or you're not having enough sugars, because your brain, when on nootropics, it actually utilizes sugar at a faster rate, so you actually need more. Doesn't mean just sugar. It could be carbohydrates, because they break down into sugars. Just anything to keep your mind focused.
So, would you recommend it as a standalone? Just a draft. Now,
yeah.
This might.
I would recommend it as a standalone, because it does what it's supposed to do, and it goes through a lot of different types of pathways, your dopamine receptors. It goes through a lot of them.
Yeah, for me, I would definitely. This is obviously, as you can tell, I'm talking so highly about it. This is my favorite nootropic out there so far. Another one would be Adrafinil. We'll get into that though, but I would say 100% true to its word, what it does. The research already proved it, but it's nice to take it and see if it actually stands up to the science, you know what I'm saying? It does 100% work. I'd recommend it for anyone. If you're starting out, I would still recommend stacking. I'm a guy who's always going to recommend stacking. You're going to get the best out of it. But for a standalone, you might be able to pull it off with just this. I honestly think Adrafinil is good enough to do it.
Yeah.
So, check out the other review videos. Get a walk around nootropics. Don't just buy the first one you see. Find what you want out of it. And,
yeah.
It's another Brotropics video.
Yeah, take
Peace.
care.